Hey everybody, welcome to Listen Money Matters. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. My name is Matt and I'm here as always with Andrew Radio Voice. How are you? Do your radio voice.
I don't even know if I could have a radio voice.
That was really good. How'd you do that?
I was born this way.
Are you drinking anything?
I am. I'm drinking some red champs.
What's that? What's that?
Champagne.
Oh.
Laura loves champs. She came by.
You call it champs?
That's what she calls it.
Okay.
And she just gave me a glass of champs, so I'm drinking it. Who's it from? I have no idea.
Listener Jeff asked us to talk a little bit more about dollar cost averaging and what that is in detail. So we are going to do that. But before we do it, if you have any questions about the subject or anything else about personal finance, you know who to email. That's Andrew, because he's the one that answers all the emails. Fill up his email box, fill up his inbox with your questions and just to say hello. And you can find me on social media. I'm the guy that runs social media. Andrew's the guy that runs the email. The email address is listenmoneymatters@gmail.com. And we want your submissions for catchphrases via Twitter, which is @moneymattersman, or twitter.com/moneymattersman. That's me. And send your catchphrases over. You can also send them over on Facebook, facebook.com/listenmoneymatters. Little difference there. And today's catchphrase is grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. What's that from? Pink Floyd's Money on the Dark Side of the Moon album. We did another one. So, let's get into it. How about that?
Yeah.
Dollar cost averaging is sort of something that I feel smart knowing about now. After
you read my article?
After I didn't read your article, but you explained it to me in a few episodes, and we're going to go a little bit more deeper into it. So, how about this? Obviously, I know what it is, but I want you to explain basically what it is and how it relates to, because of course we're talking about investing into the stock market.
Right.
Okay.
So, in a nutshell, dollar cost averaging reduces risk by allowing investors to ease into the market over time. So traditionally, and then if you search Wikipedia, dollar cost averaging will say you have a fixed amount of money that you're going to invest over a fixed amount of time, and you just evenly distribute it over that amount of time. So if you have $1,000, you can invest $100 a month for 10 months. Right.
Okay.
Instead of investing all the $1,000 now, you spread it out over 10 months, $100 each month. That's dollar cost averaging. And the reason you do it is not to complicate your life, and it's easily automatable. The reason you do it is to average out the cost per share of whatever you're buying. So you don't have to worry about timing the market.
I was going to say, why do they call it dollar cost averaging?
If you're in the UK, they call it pound cost averaging.
That's not true.
Seriously.
Oh, they do?
Look it up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were just being funny.
No.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and the reason it's dollar cost averaging is you're trying to average the cost of the dollars you spend on the stock.
Okay. Why?
So imagine you bought a big stake in a financial company.
I love steak. I love steak.
Yeah, you bought a lot of shares of a financial company in September of 2008, right?
No, I'm sorry. I was too busy thinking about steak. What did you say?
Imagine you bought a lot of a stock in a financial company in September of 2008.
Okay.
In October of 2008, you'd be extremely disappointed because you poorly timed the market and lost like a lot of your money. And then to get back to that peak that you were at is going to take so much time.
Or maybe not at all.
Or may never reach it. Exactly. Yeah. However, imagine if you're slowly buying the company on the way up over the course of months. Basically, if you're buying it on the way up, the price would be cheapest when you started, most expensive when you ended. So the average would be somewhere in the middle. And that means when it tanks, it's possible you might not even lose money. Or if you do, a very little bit, and it'll be easy to rebound.
So dollar cost averaging isn't something that like a day trader thinks about. That's not
No. We don't even acknowledge day trading on this. That's basically gambling.
right.
We're talking about building wealth for the long term for normal people
In the stock market.
in the stock market. Yeah,
Right.
I said Apple stock. This can also apply to bonds or ETF and index funds. It could apply. It applies. I use this approach, and I've gotten you to use the same approach for how we contribute to Betterment. So
And how we and this also works kind of like how you contribute to your 401k, and because you contribute, every week or every bi-week, depending on how you get paid.
So interestingly, they've set it up such that your retirement account, and these retirement accounts were made for people because people generally didn't save. So imagine this thing they built that forces you to do it over time. It basically, it's smart.
Is there any other benefits to doing it this way? Is it like, do you now? I imagine that you've invested lump sums, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You've paid 10 grand or more than that, maybe for like one single company and bought a bunch of shares at one time.
Yes.
And you bought it at one price.
Because I was specifically trying to time the market.
Okay, and did you fail or did you?
I was good, Bull. I only did it 2 times. I mean, actually, okay. So I bought in lump sums for other companies, and it was how most people do it, where it's like, I want to buy a stock. Let me buy Apple stock. When should I buy it? Right now. The thing is, like, so I did a lot like that, and I've kept none of the stocks. I've done okay on all of them. The 2 that I was wildly successful on was Apple and Tesla, and it was, thoughtful. Like, I did it on purpose.
Would you have gone in and done dollar cost averaging on Apple or Tesla? Maybe that's not the question. Do you still contribute to those stocks? Do you still buy more? You bought them once, one and done, and that was it.
Yeah, because then it becomes a significant amount of my portfolio. So to put more in would weigh it too heavily.
Okay, would be putting too much of your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. So I want to give. I came up with 2 scenarios to kind of explain how it works.
Okay.
So imagine you were buying Apple stock, right?
Okay. This is the scenario you're using as Apple.
Listen, I just picked the company, right? Whatever.
One that you happen to be invested in.
Okay, so you're buying Nike, right? You're buying Nike.
Doesn't matter,
stock.
Right? Okay.
Right. I have to change the entire.
No, you can use Apple.
No, Adidas. We're buying Adidas.
Why are we buying Adidas? I don't like Adidas. Shell tops.
All right,
come
fine.
on. Seriously.
Fine. Nike.
What is this? Corn? What is this? 1996?
I don't want to. Yeah. This is the first time I've seen your hairy legs on a Skype video chat.
I just realized how sexual this position is I'm sitting in.
It's very sexual, and I actually don't think I've seen your bare legs ever.
No, I've always worn jeans. I'm a shorts guy.
Yeah, I was
Love
gonna say,
shorts. All right.
My life was good before I saw that.
Well,
shit. Put it. Thank you.
I have well-developed calf muscles. Let me tell you something.
Yes, they were very nice. Anyways,
sorry.
I just wanted to reach out and touch.
Okay.
So we have $500, and we're going to invest it over the course of 5 months, and we're going to do it in Nike.
Okay.
So obviously, we're doing $100 a month, right?
Oh, obviously.
I mean, over the course of 5 months.
Okay.
So $500 divided by 5 is 100.
I see.
Okay.
Oh, see, I'm yawning because you're talking about numbers.
I was gonna say, whenever I start talking about numbers, you just like pass out.
I do start yawning. I have like a weird reflex every time you're like 527.34. I'm like, oh shoes, are you saying numbers again? Oh,
when you have insomnia, you should call me up and I'll just say numbers to you. I'm like 118, 27.
I don't have to count sheep. I just have Andrew count for me. That puts me right out.
Just like in the business.
Go ahead.
Okay, so month 1, the shares cost $50. So we have $100. We buy 2 shares. Month 2, it's getting cheaper. It's $40. So we could buy 2.5 shares. Month 3, it's $25. We could buy 4 shares.
It's much cheaper.
Right. Month 4, it's $20. We buy 5 shares.
Yep.
And then month 5, it goes back up to $40. So we buy 2.5 shares again.
Okay.
So the total amount of shares that we bought was 16. And when you divide it out, the average price that we paid per share is $31.25. Mind you, we started and the price was $50. It went to 40, 25, 20, and then back to 40. It's the average price we paid. And as you can see, we buy less shares when it's more expensive, more shares when it's more expensive, and it's a fixed investment. However, if we decided, I want to buy Apple, I have $500, I'm doing it today, we would have bought only 10 shares, and the average price per share would have been $50.
All right, so to reiterate, I'm looking at this now, is if you did dollar cost averaging, you would own 16 shares with an average price per share at $31.25. That's using $500.
Right.
So you actually have more shares.
And the interesting thing is so we've ended, and the month ended on $40. So if we had 16 shares, it would be worth $640. But if we only had 10 shares, it would be worth $400.
All right,
so not only did we make more money, we had more shares, and our average cost per share is lower.
So the goal is to get as many shares as possible for the lowest price.
Exactly.
Okay. To strip it down to its basics.
That's the basics. And then the other basic is that
hoping it goes back up, by the way, because it could.
But see, the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's fine. I mean, unless
unless it tanks.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a specific company. We kind of don't advocate specific companies. We advocate buying in funds or something like Betterment.
Right.
But the point is, like, if you're buying in an index fund, it's going up, unless the country is tanking and it's gonna.
But it always goes back up.
Right.
Okay.
And yeah. So, anyways, and I mean, I have another scenario, and it's the same $500 for 5 months. The share's $20 to start, $25. So it starts low. It goes up, to 40, and then it goes back down to 25, and then 10.
So this is a lot less fluctuating scenario too.
A lot less fluctuating, and it started lower, and it was only high for 1 month. And if we bought in the same scenario, we would have had 25.5 shares at $19.60 a share. So still, I mean, the thing is, like, unless it only goes down, like, you're gonna make out. I mean, I'm sorry, unless it only goes up, like you wind up like starting at the lowest point.
Yeah.
But even still, you shouldn't try and time. Yeah,
you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't buy it all at once. It's almost like making payments on a loan in a reverse way.
Yeah, and I mean, you should. And the thing is, like,
not really at all. Actually, now that I think about it, it's
I mean,
terrible
not
example.
Payments to a loan, payments
payments
to your future.
Yeah.
So,
is this a common thing? Do people do it, not even realize they're doing it?
I mean, like you said, I didn't even think of that. They do it with their 401k. People don't even realize it.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that for the most part, people, when they invest, even if they're investing in a Vanguard fund and they have the best of intentions, and they're generally, maybe they'll wait till they have 3K and then they dump in.
Should you dollar cost average on all types of shares, though, even whether it's a single stock or a bond, even?
Absolutely.
Or a index fund or a mutual fund, like they should do instead of. See, here's the thing. So, and I mean, you're done these examples. Those are the two examples you have. You just broke it down, Matt, and obviously we'll put these up on.
I just picked arbitrary numbers. And
we'll put these up on the website so you can see them if you want to look it up. But so you had mentioned, I think during like a 5 questions episode, somebody had a shitload of money in their savings account, right?
Yeah.
So they had a giant lump sum, and they could have taken that entire lump sum, dumped it into Betterment all at one shot, and they would have been buying their stocks and funds, or their, I guess with Betterment, it's all index funds. They would be buying it all at one time.
Exactly. And it could have been the best time.
Right.
Or it could have been the worst time. It could have been like, September 1st, 2008.
Right.
So the thing is unless you are so sure that it's the right time, your best bet is to try and make it like time agnostic.
So you would recommend if somebody had like a giant lump sum of cash to not throw it in all at once and instead just slowly move it from their bank account into Betterment at every month, like a monthly increments.
In this example, I think they had like $70-something thousand, and I said like maybe $1,500 a month. Like, slow,
But why not slower?
Well, because they're also making money every month, so it'd be 1,500 from there, and then they're going to contribute also every month. So, in their specific example, maybe it wound up being like three a month, but it would have drawn out over the course of like years. So,
Okay. I don't. What else? I mean, what other benefits are there to this? Is there anything else?
okay, and I think this is maybe there are a few benefits. Obviously, you avoid the risk timing the market. It forces you to contribute on a consistent basis, so you get into the habit of like setting an auto deposit, and those are pretty obvious. But I think the thing that like most often gets overlooked is that everyone would love to time the market, right? You know, be greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy.
They want to get rich quick.
Right, don't we all? Well, guess what? If you have no money on the sidelines, then you're never going to be able to go in when you need to go in. So if you were like that dude, we have 70K sitting on the sidelines and you're slow dripping it in, then all of a sudden the market crashes. You don't need to panic. You've dripped a little bit in, right? So you've mitigated your risk, and now the prices are super low. That could be an awesome time to go in a large amount.
Right. Dump the rest in.
Yeah. So I save more than I invest every month, and I just keep it on the side and I wait for opportunities. So I'm hedging my risk of poor timing the market because I don't want to worry about that stuff. And then I keep a little for myself for when, Tesla says a car is on fire, the world flips out because they're being dramatic, and then boom, I'm in.
All right. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Is there any reason why you shouldn't do it this way?
Why you shouldn't?
Yeah. I mean, there's really no reason, right?
I'll say if you have insider information or the stock is going to double or something.
Is that illegal?
It is illegal.
Oh.
I mean,
Well,
don't tell anyone.
Don't tell Martha Stewart.
Don't tell Martha Stewart. I think the only reason you wouldn't do it this way is if you don't know about this or you haven't thought about it, or if there's a specific reason you're going all in now.
So this is an argument to make for people who haven't started investing yet because the excuse is I don't have enough money to start investing. Well, with
You could start with $100. You could start with $20.
Can you start with 5?
Yeah.
I mean, like this idea, it's like, hey, it's just like contributing to your bank account. It's just like, having a savings account and putting, little bits away. And this brings me to that saying that my dadism, which is how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Right. So this idea is,
You're making this dadism famous right now.
I'm hoping. I think it's a really good. I like it a lot. I like the quote. It's the idea that you're not going to be able to invest and be a millionaire overnight. That's not what investing is. That's not what we advocate here. And if anyone's been for the lifetime of a podcast, if you've been a listener, this, right? You know that this is what we advocate. We advocate this idea that you got to start first of all, and even Dave Ramsey is is with us on that. Got to start, just start, right? Yeah. And people are scared because it's they think it's like gambling, but when you do something like this that's based on math and averages and what have you, it's not scary. It's actually pretty simple. And especially companies like, and not a commercial for them or not, and I always talk about them, and but Betterment, for me personally, was a godsend in my world because when I first read I Will Teach You to Be Rich, he broke down what life cycle funds were, what index funds were, what mutual funds were, and he goes,
it was still TMI, right?
Well, to an extent, because he goes, he first started off by saying, like, if you want to start in simple, if you want to be the lazy investor, start with life cycle funds.
Very good choice, yeah.
But it still required me to do I set up a brokerage account? Do I do a Roth IRA? Like, what am I don't, and I never did it. Like, I never acted on it because I'm like, I don't feel like setting up a new bank account and doing this whole, it's like a pain in the ass, right? I never did it. And then it wasn't until I met you, like almost, not even a year after reading that book, when you were like, oh, have you ever heard of Betterment? What's that? And you explained it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like something I would do because it's like, oh, it's everything's under one account. I don't have to pick the stocks because it's like, sure, I'll invest in a life cycle fund, but which one? Which one? I have no idea.
2050, 2055.
Is that the only ones there are?
2035?
Is Vanguard the only one? There's got to be other ones.
No, there are tons.
Right. So how do you pick that? You know, I don't. And here's the thing. Like,
it's a great question.
You know, and my dad. Yeah, we were talking the other day. You know, he's like me in that sense. Like when you start talking about that shit, his eyes glaze over and
starts yawning.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you start talking about that shit, I start yawning because it's like, to me, it's like painstakingly boring, right? I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm learning, obviously, through this podcast, and I know a lot now, and I know what dollar cost averaging is. You didn't have to explain it to me.
I mean, I did have to explain it to you just
at one point,
today.
Yeah, just before, right? So, you know, this idea of just and look, you know, we started this podcast in October of 2013, something like that. Yeah, November of 2013, and you were like, Betterment, get on Betterment, do something. And I'm like, And I procrastinated until when? February, March?
I even if that, yeah, you wait a long time, dude.
And you're like, dude, just put anything in. Just like get started and like just set it up automatically and start like depositing shit in your account. That's all you got to do, right? And I started doing it. And when I started doing it, I started getting my dad to do it, started getting my brother to do it. And, you know, right now I've made 3.5% returns on, I've ended up investing, you know, it was like almost $5,000.
Dude, that's awesome. I invested only a little bit before you, right? Only a little bit. My gains are 7.3% now.
It's crazy.
I mean, and the thing is like,
like dude, it took me 2 seconds to set up. 2 seconds. Like I wasn't even a pain in the ass in the least. And I'm not trying to make this an hour-long commercial for Betterment or anything.
But I just want to say, like,
I can't stop raving about it.
Dude, and also, I mean, just one last thing because I want to make a point. But the minimum, I mean, there's no minimum. You could literally put $5 in a month into Betterment.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you went to Fidelity, invested through them, they would charge you like $4.99. So it cost you $10 to invest $5.
And you, the thing is like, let's say somebody just doesn't want to sign up with Betterment, and that's fine. What do they do?
Well, okay, so we talked about
question.
that before, but I would say they'd go to a Vanguard fund. Right,
but how do you even like? I talk about this all the time because I think it needs.
How do you know with a Vanguard fund?
How do you get one? Like you can't just go to the store and like I'll take this box of Vanguard funds. Like you just can't go. You have
to go to Vanguard, sign up, create an account,
buy it. That's one way. But then you're locked into only Vanguard stuff, right?
Right. Or you could go to Fidelity. See, Vanguard, I believe, does not charge you to invest in their own funds. But if you went to someone like Fidelity, they also wouldn't charge you to invest in their own funds, but while I love the company Fidelity, I might not recommend their funds like I recommend Vanguard.
Because of the fees.
Because of the fees and just because
even
Vanguard has like a storied history of being successful and being about the investor.
But here's one of those problems with that too. And this is one of the reasons why I here's all right. Because my brother had mentioned to me, like he's like, I don't think you really explain like the real true benefits of Betterment, right? Versus just because this goes into this dollar cost averaging discussion is, you know, the reason after I read this book, I'm like, all right, cool, life cycle funds, like yeah, I'm all about it. Oh, it costs $1,000 to even get started. No, I don't have that. Yeah, so I don't get started because I don't have $1,000.
And if you want to get into a life cycle fund, I believe it's $10,000 to get
some
started.
of them,
at least with Vanguard.
Well, there were some that, you know, the retirement 2050 funds were like $1,000 to get started or whatever fund. I don't know.
It was the Admiral one that was 10.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I don't have 1,000. I can't do this. So, and I just procrastinate because it's like I don't have 1,000. And if I don't ever save 1,000, then I'm never gonna get into it. And then once you know. And then it's like when you make 1,000, when you actually like, you know, decide, okay, I'm going to put $100 a month into my account, and then by the end of the year I have $1,000 now I can invest. Now you don't want to invest it because you got $1,000 in your account, and you're like, oh, I can use that, you know, and then you have this fear. What Betterment did, and it just broke down this barrier of, hey man, you can actually start investing. You don't need a minimum down payment of $1,000 to buy a fund. You need 5. And if you put it in, guess what? You can take it out.
And there'll be no
Easily.
fee to take it
And
out.
yeah, there's no trading
And
fees.
transferring between that and your checking account is like that of transferring between a savings account.
Like that for me, I'm like, how is this now just coming about? How has this not been around forever?
That's why I'm like fanatical about it, because something like this, like I think we got like a review or something where someone's like, oh, they're in the pocket of Betterment. And
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest, we make almost no money from Betterment. And are you still there?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, my shit's freezing out for some reason.
that's all right.
Yeah, but we make almost no money from Betterment. And at this podcast, it loses me an epic amount of money every month. It's not the point. The point is like a tool like this is like what was needed to get the mass market, like
invest.
the masses of people to actually invest, to take advantage,
Dude, and even if you just start it with Betterment, like right now, I'm just started and I like it because I am not like, I don't want to be an investor. Like I don't want to be like a guy who's like looking at trends and trying to figure like I'm not that person.
and you shouldn't have to be.
I'm more of a like personal finance in the sense that like I'm interested in all of the other stuff, right? The debt reduction, the budgeting, even though I'm like not even into that much, and the income mostly. That's where I excel.
Who isn't?
Right? No, but this idea that I can do this, and I mean, Betterment's not the only one. We never mentioned Sprout Wealth, right? That's not that. No, it's not Sprout Wealth. What's the other one?
It's called Wealthfront.
Wealthfront. That's it. Sprout Wealth.
The only
is
thing
website.
is, the only reason we don't push them is there's a minimum.
There is.
We remember we were talking to that guy the other day.
Yeah.
and I forget what the minimum is, but it's a little steep. And
well, do you know that for sure before you say that?
Yeah.
You do?
And the reason is because Betterment is also a broker dealer, so they're an integrated vertical stack. You know what I mean? Where Wealthfront is not a broker dealer, so every trade they have to pay their broker dealer, the quote unquote $5 fee or whatever they pay.
Oh, I see.
So, I mean,
that could change, right?
It could change. It could change, and then there would be an awesome competitor, and that'd be great because then we'd have two titans with these awesome methodologies competing.
Right.
But I mean, right now, Betterment's the only one, and it's not like it's the only choice to choose them. Like they're a damn good choice.
Investing, and you don't really want to, you don't really want to think about, I don't know, the idea of like, you don't want to think about investing. You don't want to do it. Like, you don't want to be involved in like which mutual funds I need to pick, which index funds do I need to pick, which bonds do I need to pick. You don't have to pick anything. You just invest.
Yeah.
So, I'm good. I'm covered. You feel good?
Cool. I just want to say one thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Because we sidetracked a little bit about Betterment. So you were looking at your Betterment account. And you said you had like 4% gains or something like that, and I had 7%.
I think it was
and I would go to you and I'd say, hey, if you had invested when I invested, you would have missed out on all the gains, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, one thing that people would usually come back with, especially people who are fearful about investing, they'd say, yeah, but I could have lost my money, right? Like, I missed out on the losses as well, right? Like, I wasn't invested in 2008, so I didn't lose anything. I mean, you only lose when you sell. But the thing is, if you take dollar cost averaging and you pull it out, there are more good times than bad times. The bad times are the exception to the rule, the correction, right? Like the bad times was like a 3-year span, and then there's a successful 10 years of growth, And if you look at the graphs of the economy and the market, it goes up, up, up. So don't fear like the 10% of the time and don't invest. Invest for the 90% of the time. And if you spread it out using dollar cost averaging, that 10% that everyone bitches and moans about will have no meaningful effect on your wealth.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you want to end it?
I'm done ranting.
If you got any more questions about this, you know what to email us at listenmoneymatters@gmail.com. Seriously, not kidding about that. Email us. And if you like the show, you can leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen. I know I got to get my head around what other podcast apps there are out there. I only use iTunes. I don't know any other ones. Do you?
Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, I guess. I don't know if they're like apps.
Yeah, we're on SoundCloud now.
I'm on Stitcher, soon to be on Spreaker.
Yeah. So leave a review because that actually is super helpful. And if you do, let us know that you left a review by sending us an email to listenmoneymatters@gmail.com. We'll send you something. I want to read a review. 5-star review titled Good Show by Rhode Island Sucks.
Yes.
Dude, mine's going to be New Jersey Sucks. That's the truth. I've listened to several financial podcasts, and this is by far the most entertaining. We're two wacky guys. That was my attempt at being entertaining. It has to be hard to make something like personal finance an interesting topic. You're goddamn right it is.
Half the time we're sweating profusely.
We're trying to think of how to make it entertaining.
Half the time when I'm talking, Matt's sleeping, and I have to like beep him.
Yeah.
I have to like text him, like, dude, wake up, we're recording.
But wait a minute, there's more. There is some needless banter about beer and personal lives, but I will gladly listen to that over heavy-handed political and or religious rants that I've experienced on similar podcasts. I wonder who that could be. So thank you, Rhode Island Sucks. Sorry for all the needless banter and beer and personal lives, but
that's malarkey.
What's malarkey?
The banter. There's none of that here. It's all business.
We are all business.
Wait, no. We're business in the front. Party in the back.
What do they mean, banter? We don't have banter. Beer? I don't recall any talk about beer.
All right. Okay. There was maybe like 10 fart jokes on the whole.
We might as well, since we talked about Betterment for almost 50% of today's podcast. And I'm sorry to all those who think we're in the back pocket of Betterment, which we are clearly not.
I'll tell you what. I wish I was in the back pocket.
I do too.
Betterment, if you're listening,
yeah,
please put us in your back.
Yeah, right. ListenMoneyMatters.com/Betterment. Get started, man. That's if you haven't started investing. Oh my God, Andrew made me do it. He beat me over the head for months to do it, and he kept making fun of me for not getting involved, and finally did. Very happy that I did. My brother's happy that I pushed him into it. My friend's happy that I pushed him into it. Everyone who I've told about is happy that I did it, and I'm happy that I was able to know about it and share that with people. So I'm serious. Dead serious about that. ListenMoneyMatters.com/Betterment. Do it. Last but not least, if you want to learn more about personal finance, investing, dollar cost averaging, whatever, you know where to find us, ListenMoneyMatters.com. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we look forward to the next episode. Later, Andrew.
Later, Matt.